Hello, and thanks for tuning in. Let's dive in.
Today we're looking at your source material on, well, a pretty fundamental topic.
Yeah, the world of work. Specifically, the differences between mental and physical labor.
And not just the differences, but crucially, how they get paid.
Right, and what the future might hold, especially for those physically demanding jobs.
So our mission, really, is to sift through these sources and pull out the key insights for you.
Kind of a guide to understanding the dynamics at play.
Exactly. Think of it as understanding how different work gets valued.
Okay, let's unpack this. The sources seem to immediately draw a line, don't they, between mental and physical work pay.
They do, and it really boils down to what society, or rather the market, values.
So for mental work, what's the emphasis there?
Higher pay, often. The sources suggest it's because of things like specialized knowledge, complex problem solving.
Stuff you can't really touch. Intangible assets, right?
Precisely, like a clever strategy or a groundbreaking idea, valued highly.
But then physical work is different. How do the sources frame that? Yeah.
Well, the compensation there is typically linked to things you can see, demonstrable skills, physical effort, maybe the risks involved.
More tangible actions and abilities.
Yeah. The sources use a really stark contrast to illustrate this.
Oh yeah? Which one?
They compare, say, a software architect designing complex systems, very mental, strategic,
Right, intangible design work.
with a firefighter, someone facing real physical danger, relying on bravery, physical endurance.
That makes it very clear. So the pay reflects the nature of the core contribution.
And it's perceived market value. That's the phrase they use. It's about what the market demands and values right now.
Okay. And what about examples of jobs that need a lot of physical work? The sources mention some specific ones.
They do. Firefighters, as we said. Soldiers, too.
Mm.
And nurses in certain situations.
And the common thread there is.
Handling emergencies. Needing significant physical endurance, often being ready at a moment's notice.
The sources even talk about the intense training, right, for firefighters and soldiers.
Yes. Tough daily training just to stay physically prepared for extreme, often perilous situations. It highlights that constant readiness.
So given all that physical demand, that risk, you'd think maybe their pay might go up significantly in the future.
Yeah.
What do the sources say?
It's interesting. Based only on this material we're looking at, the outlook isn't optimistic for big pay rises.
Really? They lean towards no.
Pretty much, yeah. They don't really foresee major salary increases for these roles.
Why not? What's the reasoning provided in the sources?
One word, really. Automation.
Ah, okay. Technology taking over.
Exactly. The sources predict that robots and advanced tech will increasingly perform tasks currently done by physical workers.
And how does that connect directly to pay, according to this material?
Well, the argument is that if automation solves problems and meets needs more efficiently,
It reduces the need for human manual labor.
right, which increases operational efficiency. But from the worker's perspective, if there's less demand for human physical effort,
Then the market value of that labor doesn't grow, or could even fall. Limits wage growth.
makes sense from the economic perspective. They give an example, don't they?
They do 3D printing and construction.
Oh, right. Printing houses.
Yeah, needing far fewer manual workers on site. Maybe just a couple of people overseeing the tech.
That's a powerful illustration of how innovation, in this view, might decrease our reliance on manual labor.
And supports their argument about why pay might stagnate for those roles.
Seems to be the core logic presented in these sources.
Okay, so let's just quickly recap for everyone listening. We've seen from the sources this basic split. Mental work valued for knowledge, physical for tangible effort or risk.
We've touched on the demanding nature of jobs like firefighting. Very physical.
And critically, we've explored the source's perspective that automation is likely to limit future pay increases for physical labor.
Because technology might just do the job instead, reducing demand.
So for you, the listener, thinking about this helps understand maybe the different forces shaping various professions.
And how technology is potentially changing the whole job market landscape, changing what skills or contributions are valued most.
Which leads us to a final thought, drawing from this material.
If the sources are right, and automation makes sheer physical effort less essential in the market.
What other human skills, what other forms of contribution might become even more valuable in the future?
Something definitely worth pondering as things continue to evolve so quickly.
Stay curious and stay motivated.